Hey guys, this is page 18 of George versus George. I'm going to read along. If you could take your finger and point as you go too, you could take your yellow index card too if you'd like and follow along. The trouble with taxes is the heading, and this is going to be all about the trouble with taxes until we get to the next heading. So we're going to look for the details about what was wrong with the taxes from England. So what stirred up the hornet's nest in the first place? It all began over money and over the rights of citizens, too. Great Britain had been in one war or another for 50 years and was drowning in debt. Over in London, Parliament decided that Americans should help out by paying their fair share, and King George agreed. After all, Great Britain had spent plenty of money fighting in America for the good of the colonies. The Crown was still supporting a British army to help stop Indian attacks on the American frontier. It was Great Britain's right to collect payment. After that paragraph, I'm going to stop and think, what was this about? Let's see. This was all about why Great Britain had taxed the colonists because they needed to pay for the war, and they felt like that was fair since they are still sending money to stop Indians from attacking them. See how you have to stop and think, what is this about? Summarize that. Okay, next paragraph. To raise the money, Parliament passed a Sugar Act and a Stamp Act, saying the colonists had to pay taxes to Great Britain for all sorts of imported goods, from molasses, blue indigo dye, and pimentos to printed items such as marriage licenses, playing cards, and newspapers. Similar taxes were often collected in England, but the colonists were already paying separate taxes to cover their own war debts and to run the colonies. A lot of them thought paying twice wasn't one bit fair. Besides, they believed it was against the British Constitution. Now we're seeing that the acts are called the Sugar Act and the Stamp Act, or those are laws, acts are laws, saying they had to pay these taxes to Great Britain for things they really needed, it sounds like. Playing cards, newspapers, marriage licenses, indigo dye, molasses is like sugar. It's a sugar substance. So they had imported goods, things coming into their country they had to pay for. But they were already paying their own taxes and paying for the debts they had on their own. So I see why the colonies have their side of the story too. That's not fair, paying twice. Ever since the Middle Ages, English law had said that there should be no taxation, no taxes, without representation, without being represented in government. This meant that the citizens could never be taxed unless their elected representatives voted to pay. The colonists were British citizens, and the law guaranteed them the rights of Englishmen. So where was their right to have representatives who could vote for or against these taxes? Though many colonists would stay loyal to the Crown and obey its laws no matter what, others argued that Parliament might make them pay even more taxes without their consent. And we know how the previous pages show how the government works. And we had that the colonists wanted to be able to vote for who would be in office. And that was being taken away from them. This right to vote on the taxes was not letting them do that. Here's two real people from the past. These are primary sources. Sam Adams, American patriot, said, "If our trade may be taxed, why not our lands and everything we possess or make use of?" He's angry. He's saying you can tax everything we have. That's not fair. And the English poet, he's anonymous, we don't know his name, but he said this in England. He's a poem, so it's going to make a poem, make a statement about government. "This Stamp Act, no doubt, may be good for the Crown, but I fear 'tis a pill that will never go down." What does that mean? The Crown is the king. He's saying that these taxes are like taking medicine, like a pill, and that this won't go down because they're going to throw it back up. They're not going to put up with that, are they? Thanks for helping me read page 18. Now take these words and you need to fill in the chart in your workbook to show the evidence for both sides of this story.